There are things in the world that you should never trust. I made that mistake before, and in the end, it was always me who paid the price. And that is girls who are kind. This is the story of a boy who lost all his trust in women due to their constant betrayal. The name of our main character is Yuta Tahano. Wherever he goes, people look behind him. The girls are mad, but not because of him. He is just a high school boy who doesn't trust them. He has been deceived and taken advantage of time and time again by these girls. Girls asked him, "Could you give this to your brother?" His older brother. "I'm sorry, Yuta. It wasn't you, it was your brother, not you." "I'm done putting my trust into girls." He says that's right. As girls run for his brother, a beautiful one is right behind him. As she says, "Good morning," he thinks to himself about how every last one of them, including this one right in front of his eyes, is the same. She constantly follows him, trying to shake things up with a good morning here and there. Then he freaks out, shouting outside, "Give it a rest already. I'm sick of it. I'm not going to say it back." "Well, I couldn't hear your reply, she says. So he finally does say, "Like I said, good morning." "Good morning," she replies, and with her beautiful smile, she leaves. He looks toward her, her expression gripping his head tightly, thinking, what am I all flustered about? Get a grip on yourself, you idiot. She's been coming up to me a lot lately. She is Izumi Hojo, from the same class as me. As others greet her with good morning, she is known for being cute. She's said to be the perfect match for my third-year older brother. "I heard they're selling special bread today," a shorter girl says. The main character has no doubts that she is also after his brother. Though, for some reason, as he is thinking this, she interrupts him, saying, "Hey, Tahano, what kind of bread do you like?" She stares deep into his face as he thinks. "Why are you asking me all of a sudden?" "Well, it's melon bread," he replies. "Then you should totally swing by the cafeteria today. They'll definitely have melon bread, she says. "Yeah, what?" he responds, thinking, what is the deal with this girl anyway? That girl is really throwing me off. While he does actually buy it, in the class, they're all excited for gym class. In gym class, we observe her in her basketball jersey, playing alongside the main character. His friends call him out, saying, "Hey, Yuta, you know that girl right there? She's really cute. You think so too, right?" We observe his friend saying, "You can never tell what she's thinking, but that mysterious vibe is part of her charm. Don't you think? Doing her own thing, Not only is she cute, she's got pretty good grades too, and even in sports." As we observe her thumping the basketball, or rather dribbling it, he looks toward her, thinking she's not pulling it off. Is she? Why is she asking for the pass? You're not scoring from there. See, I told you you'd miss it, totally. Why does she look so pleased with herself, even after that? The person by him, his friend, says, "Man, she's cute, and she only missed by a bit. What were you even watching? Hey, you were totally looking at Hojo-san too, right?" "I wasn't," the main character says. As her eyes meet his, he observes her smiling gradually, or more like blushing, toward him. All three of the boys are stunned as she turns around, and he thinks, hey, what the hell was that? While both of his friends think about how she was looking at the long-haired one. What was she even trying to do? He thinks, yes, he is walking out of the school. He thinks to himself, Hojo-san has been driving me nuts lately. The issue is that I can't even begin to understand what she's thinking. But that girl has never brought up anything about my brother. Could it be, by any chance, that she's actually into me? He imagines her coming up to him, saying, "Isn't that you, Yuta?" The truth is that I'm in love with Tahano. I hope he notices me. When all that fades, he looks back, and there she is, the girl, conversing with his brother. Another girl says, "Who is that girl? She's super cute. Wasn't she a first-year one?" The main character says, "As I figured, you were one of them after all, weren't you?" As the main character gets pushed around by a group of girls who are after his older brother, saying, "We're not letting you get ahead of us," he drops down on the ground, trampled by everyone. It's been like this for a long time, as long as he can remember. Any girl who shows interest in him was really after his brother. They act friendly and pretend like they know me, while their eyes are fixed on my brother, who's ahead of me. Of course, that's why I could never trust them, he thinks. As someone comes with a handkerchief, saying, "Are you all right?" he thinks, these girls who show me kindness, I will never trust them. As both of them are in a single frame, She says, "You can use that if you want." He is silent for a bit, then asks her, "Why? Why aren't you going after my brother?" She thinks for a minute, turning her head around, looking toward his brother, and then replying, "Why, you ask? Well, it's quite simple. It's because I found you. That's all. Come on, just take this already." The main character blushes and thanks her as she sits down and says, "You're welcome. Make sure you return that handkerchief. Okay? The one in your hand is my favorite one." The main character thinks, "I have no doubt left that this girl is after my brother. I mean, there's no way, no way, no way at all. I will not let myself be deceived ever again." Her beautiful face says, "You're welcome," when there are things in the world I must never trust. So someone asks him, "Tahano, what's your zodiac sign?" And that is, well, this is Izumi Hojo. She's been talking to me a lot recently. She calls out my name. She's probably going after my big brother. But you observe her poking her head right into him, saying, "Hey, good morning." He greets her as she asks him once again, "What's your sign?" He tells her, "Virgo." "Virgo," she says, looking toward him, or rather staring. He says, "Yeah, so what?" She comes much closer, and as he is quite startled by that, she grabs his tie and then rips it off. He asks, "What the hell are you doing all of a sudden?" But then he looks toward his tie and begs her to give it back, saying, "Seriously, what the hell?" We observe someone saying, "Good morning. This is Urara's outfit of the day. Urara's special sky blue cardigan, Urara pom-pom in the hair, and blue harmony juice. Hey, check it out. Virgo's lucky color today is blue. Dark green's supposed to be unlucky today, so I ditched the tie. Urara's special blue veil backpack. What's with that?" she says. "What's that supposed to mean?" The main character thinks to himself, "Just as I thought, I'll never know what's going through her head. I hate to break it to you, Hojo, but I don't believe in horoscopes, and there's no chance that I'm trusting you. It's girls like her with their lies." But as soon as he puts his tie back on, he gets smacked in the head by a ball. Later, he gets splashed by water from the gardener, and after that, he gets trampled by a bunch of girls. There's no point trusting them. Today has been nothing but bad luck for me, he thinks. Is it just me, or does Utah look more tired than usual? His friend says from behind. That's true, another friend adds. He thinks, don't tell me Hojo-san was right the whole time. As she speaks in her little cute voice, saying things to herself, he thinks, this girl is actually easier to read than I thought. Could her lucky color be white or something? As she rises from her seat, the main character goes to her table and picks up the doll she left. As his tie gets accidentally stuck in the table, he slips and then bumps directly into her. She looks behind, and he is totally embarrassed by all of that, but this stops her from getting trampled under the spray of girls going for the main character's brother. She says, dang it, look at the crowd. One more step, and you would have been trampled. Lucky for you, I was here. The main character can't understand. But then, as the color panels arrive, we get to know, look here, it's your lucky color. What? It looks like her hair is blue. So why did you call me? Yeah, the weather charm? No, it's not that, though. You're telling me that's not your lucky item? Wait, what the hell is with you, Izumi? A shining boy. As everyone says, the girls gathered around him, flocking over him, say, Rai-sama looks so handsome today, too. This radiant boy is none other than the main character's brother. A few girls talking about him say, did you know that his younger brother goes to the school as well? The other girl says, wait, really? Who is he over there? As she pointed towards the main character, a gloomy-looking guy looking towards her. Both of the girls think that guy, Yuta Tono, a high school boy who doesn't trust girls. Both of them think, but if we get closer to him, we might be able to get a chance to get his brother's number. This is the reason he can't stand girls. Girls are only approaching me for my brother. That's why I will never trust them at all. He thinks, especially as a shiny-looking braided girl says, Izumi, look, Tono-kun is back. This is Izumi Hojo. She calls out to the main character, saying, welcome back. She has been bothering the main character as of late, and her especially, the main character who doesn't trust, he says, don't welcome me back. You're sitting right in my seat. Both of them notice that, and she shuffles a bit. The main character, looking towards her as she says, you can have a half back of the seat. It's good enough, right? The main character freaks out, saying, "There's no way I can sit like that, you know." Izumi Hojo, a beautiful girl who doesn't want to move from my seat. People are crazy over her, even in my class. She seems to have a lot of fans. The only reason she is talking to me is to get closer to my brother, he thinks. But there is something weird about her as she goes closer to him and says, "Writing in your journal? Are you? You're confident, huh?" Hearing this, he is a bit shocked as he moves his head towards her, saying, "Huh." He couldn't understand what she meant, but then she says, "Ah, you forgot about it, didn't you?" We observe the braided girl say, "Get ready because it's the math quiz." Laura just found out too, but it looks like she doesn't have any kind of strain over her head. Yeah, what she said, all of them were in quite a shock, but the main character got the worst of them all. Only 5 out of 50. All right, those of you with 10 points or less, don't forget to make up for your test tomorrow. Everyone was traumatized, but it looks like most of them passed very easily. Izumi dodged a failing grade, and others thought it was way too easy. His friend says, "Don't mind it, Yuta, but this guy has gotten 40 out of 50 while getting hit with a test he didn't know about sounds painful." Another guy says, who has gotten 50 out of 50. His friend says, "Maybe it's because you were talking to Hojo before the test. You were acting all confident." "No, I wasn't," as both of them laugh. "You know what? I need to go home and study." He thinks to himself, so much work, while both of his friends were off to the arcade. Alone, and he has to do the math work. Well, no, maybe not at home, he thinks to himself as he sees the library sign and then went inside. Alone, sitting at a desk, he thinks, "I figured change in scenery might help, but I still don't get it. I don't think I can move point P." He crumples his hair a bit, looking towards his exam papers and his notebook, thinking, "I still don't get it." Someone says, "You made a mistake." This someone is Izumi Hojo. He screamed out as he was startled, and everyone was looking towards him. He covered his mouth, saying, "I am sorry," while she just says, "Studying hard, huh?" He couldn't understand why this girl is here and doubts. Hell, she's actually using the library? That's kind of surprising for him. Then he thought she'd be at a fancy cafe or something after school, as he looked towards her profile on Instagram. Well, she sat right beside him, and as the main character studies, she's reading a light novel with a crazy long title, Flirty Beautiful Girl. How outrageous. The most beautiful girl in school flirts with me. So I almost got the wrong idea. But there is no way she is actually into me. This was the title, by the way. The main character made a sound, and this surprised her as she asked, "What?" He says, "No, it's nothing," and was embarrassed a bit, looking at the book tucked away. But then she got closer to him, saying, "Why are you sitting next to me?" he asks her, though. "You want to help with something or something," she says. He was quite startled by this as she pointed out the blank paper. "Look, you still haven't written anything." She has got him, and she says, "Is this from today's quiz?" "Of course," he says. "That reminds me, didn't Takayama say Hojo was smart?" This girl really, he doesn't really know. She's been spacing out, reading. That doesn't seem like the type to listen in class either, huh? We observe that she has already checked all of his papers and says, "You failed." "Don't just do that." He freaks out as she shows his paper to him, and he looked all over the place to make sure no one is looking. "What about you then?" he asked her. "Me?" She smirked and pulled out her 50 out of 50 paper. She has aced the test. The smug look was evident on her face. She shoved it in the main character's mouth, who wasn't looking, but she shoved it more and more. "The things you were so persistent," he says, getting frustrated, while she says, "You're the one who asked, you know. So then, I can teach you the parts you don't understand." She says this with a gentle smile, looking towards him, the glimmer in her eyes, as if she's saying, "Let me teach you, let me teach you, let me teach you." She says, all right," as both of them started learning. She, who thinks, "You just memorized the answer, didn't you?" He was gulping his sweat, as that was right. She teaches him this and that, a lot of scribbled letters. It was done. He was happy. It was already late, 5 o'clock. He calls her out, saying, "Hey, Hojo," but looked towards her, and it was definitely quite a flourishing scene. She looks beautiful, like a feather, and he was astonished. She asked, "You finished?" "I wanted to check your answers, but maybe after you're finished reading." "It's finished, I finished," he says. He thinks, while blushing, Was she waiting for me to finish? But why? Could it be that Hojo is actually into me? As she scoots over, looking towards her answer, she says, "It's all correct." With a blushy face, the main character's heart goes pounding after seeing and hearing her words. His mind almost blasted as she has come close while we observe her saying, "Oh my mother just got home, so I have to leave." As she lived away from the library, someone comes and says, "You are still here?" The main character, who studied all day, ended up getting a perfect score the next day. First year in high school, Yuta Tono, he's out shopping at the moment. As he found the vegetable he wants, vegetables are so damn expensive. Are these getting pricier than the last time? You have to be pretty well off to get something like this, as he grabs the cabbage. Veggies, veggies. These are the words spoken by Izumi Hojo, and she is here. Both of their eyes meet, and they were shocked, at least the main character was. She greets him, and he thinks, why is she here? Well, you're out shopping too. Yes, I guess, he says. Seeing Izumi Hojo in such casual clothes is kind of refreshing. She does look pretty cute, but then he suddenly realized, what is he even thinking about? He got startled, and as she couldn't understand, she is messing with my head again, he thinks to himself as he looks in her basket, and there were all snacks stacked in there. He asked, "You were out getting stuff? What is on the list, then?" She shows him the list. He took it in his own hands and started reading it, then suddenly realized, you are buying something totally different than what is described in the shopping list. She, in her justification, says, they said I could use the extra money for snacks. But the main character says, you got your priorities wrong. You're supposed to be the smart one here, aren't you? She with her snack in her hand, as he says, you can grab the snack later. Now, go put these back. But she just holds the snack tight in her arms, refusing to give up. She looked towards him with a stare, and he thinks, what's with that look? Seriously, I can't tell what this girl is thinking. As she put the snack back, now she got attracted towards ice cream. He yelled at her, saying, hey, I didn't see any ice cream on the list. Hug, give me that list, as he grabs her, and then with her alongside him, they did a lot of shopping, this, and that. At the end, as she cashed out, she was very happy. Thanks to Tono, I was able to get everything I needed, including snacks. She thanks the main character. Well, surprisingly, he's a caring guy. What's with you? He says, while she leaves, saying, thanks, catch you later. He says, yes, see ya. The gloomy guy thinks, see ya, how the hell did I end up helping her shop? Izumi Hojo, of all people. As someone says, Yuta-chan, is that you? Oh, this is the shopkeeper, Annie. He calls her out, saying, Annie. She says, was that girl just now your friend? Or could it be your girlfriend? He blushes and freaks out, saying, no way, she's just a friend. No, not even a friend, a classmate, really. I assume you were close, since you two seem like you were having fun, the Annie says. Having fun, he wonders. Come to think of it, I don't think I have ever seen Izumi Hojo laugh. He thinks about it. Though, I can't help but think she would laugh when my brother is around. As he remembers his past, a girl laughing alongside him, and then him hearing things. To be honest, I'm only talking to Yuta to get closer to his brother. That's not really fun, is it? I will never be deceived again, as he clenches his fist. It looks like even he is done shopping, and he is totally satisfied as he managed to save money today. As he notices that Hojo was standing there in the rain, did she forget to bring an umbrella? He thinks. Well, it's not like it has anything to do with me. But then he remembers the Andes incident. As he turns away, he sees he gave his umbrella, or rather shielded her from the rain. He says, you might catch a cold, you know. She looked towards him as he says, so here I am giving you this. Hey, you sure? Then, as we observe them walking in the rain, they were together under the same umbrella. Somehow, we ended up walking together. I thought I had given her the umbrella, but what's up with you, Hojo? Most girls would have refused to share an umbrella with some guy. As both their shoulders bump into each other, he tumbles and then apologized, blushing. But she says, smiling, it's fine, I guess. There's not much room for the both of us. He thinks she is so close. As he says, it's made for one person, after all. Not much we can do about it. He gulps his saliva. Thinking about all of that made him a bit nervous, But even at this distance, he feels like she's the one doing it to get on his good side. The doubt never leaves his mind. As he heard something, he observed that a truck is coming at full speed. He thinks, not that she's actually having any fun with me. In the next second, it looks like the truck has sprayed a lot of water. The main character tries to call out to her, but then just gets in front of her and gets splashed by water. As the truck goes, Izumi Hojo was looking toward it. She asked the main character if he is okay, but he asked her if she was okay. It looked like both were fine, but she says, I mean, you wouldn't have gotten soaked had you used the umbrella. She has a point there, and the main character is quite embarrassed by it. No, it's fine, as long as you're not wet. That's whatever. But as soon as they got under the umbrella, it looks like it has secreted a bit of water, and now both of them are drenched. Looking towards each other with blind eyes, she laughs wholeheartedly, looking beautiful and blushing, saying, what are you even doing, Tono? The main character, who is a bit down, says, no, I'm sorry, but it's not like that. I know it isn't. It's all right, she says. Thank you for protecting me earlier. The main character thinks about how Izumi Hojo, what a strange girl, a girl who laughs at the strangest moments. The sky is cleared up now, and he says, let's hurry home. As she called him out, she rushes, saying, unless you want to catch a cold, run. But he thinks, to me, Izumi Hojo is someone I need to watch out for, as he blushes under the rain. Utah's first year in high school, he was 167 centimeters tall. We see the blonde girl, brunette, saying, Tahano, you and Izumi are the same height. He was shocked. Yes, we are matching, she says. Izumi is also 167 centimeters, you know. Yeah, that's what she said. The main character tried to smoke, but if you round it up, I'm actually 168 centimeters. Still 167, though. Anyway, he gloomily drinks apple juice as his friend says, hey, take it easy on the drinks. Careful not to upset your stomach. Okay, he replies, while she, Izumi, stared towards the vending machine. Others say, hey, look, isn't that Hojo-san? Yeah, she looks wonderful today as well. Is she having trouble deciding what to buy? Even her troubled face looks kind of cute. The main character was also dying of thirst. Another student laughed, saying whatever she does, she looks great. Hey Tojo, what's taking so long? She, who was dainty and short, couldn't buy the juice she wanted. Seeing this, the main character says, you are so seriously off, so he went and bought her one. Utah's older brother, Raya Tahano, aka Reisama, an undeniably good-looking person, they say is too stunning to the point that roses would appear behind him when he looks your way, with rose petals falling wherever he passes by. Utah and his friends murmur, what's with all the flowers? Is your brother some kind of urban legend or something? Maybe you could do that if you tried. Actually, like hell I can, was the serious answer from Utah. Anyway, one of the school's many little events, the seat change. People are dying to get nicer seats or to sit beside their friend. The person I'm most curious and cautious of is Izumi Hojo, but that person is now sitting right next to me. This is some kind of fate. She scoots towards him while he was in grim silence. She says, leaning in, hope we get along. Yes, sure, were the only words out of his mind as he thinks, of all people, why is Hojo sitting right next to me? To think that a trap such as this would lay dormant during the seat change. No, let's turn this misfortune into an opportunity for Utah to learn more about Hojo, to finally see through her facade. As he peeks, he gets startled and scared as Izumi was also staring right into his soul. He asks her, why are you looking this way? She replies, I'm looking at the mountains. What, he says, because they say that looking at nature from afar is good for you. The main character was shocked. Never mind, I have no clue what she's thinking. In his mind, he had already made up a scenario where he thinks, of course, you also are after him, aren't you, Hojo? Just like everyone else. He glances toward her school supplies, is all way too cute. It's the polar opposite of his ordinary tiny rubber and all that, while she sparkles like a continent. But somehow, there is something weird as well, a gloomy-looking kitchen. He who stares right at it was called out by her, saying this is called a lazy dog. He couldn't understand anything about it, but asked, is this popular? She says, it's cute, right? And then, While blushing, she says, "It kind of looks like you." He, who stomps up on his desk, saying, "No, it does not," gathers the attention of the whole class, but thinks, "They look like they are having fun, right? I guess." Now, because of this, the main character in the end just went around in circles trying to dig up something about her, but most of the time, he couldn't have found anything. Those who end up sitting next to him pester him for info on his brother. Well, that's how his life has always been, he thinks. What in the earth is she thinking? Glancing towards her one more time, he was a bit shocked, distressed, thinking something, and then burst out, thinking she is wearing glasses. Izumi Hojo is wearing glasses. She peeks at him while he is in this surprising expression. He asked, "Hojo, you have bad eyesight, is that it?" She says, "Yes, it's not usually a problem, but since I'm on the way back, I'll have to put these on." He thinks about those mountains that she mentioned before. She was telling the truth. Well, with this conversation, we see the teacher yelling at them, saying, "Tahano, can you see from there? It's pretty easy with 20/20th vision, you know." Well, Tahano is the outdoorsy kid. When he was little, he used to play often in places like forests and mountains, so that is why he does not have any kind of eye problems. He asked her, "If you have bad eyesight, then where were you in the seat before?" Well, as he was saying that, the teacher calls him out, saying, "Okay, the next question goes to Tahano." Tahano, who had to stand up, was totally going to get embarrassed because he wasn't listening to one damn thing. As the teacher asked the question, Izumi murmurs persistence. At first, he couldn't understand, but then he realized, what if she's really giving me the right answer? The teacher, who called him out, saying, "Did you not listen, dear?" Whispering. But Tahano, in his mind, was running a battle between trusting her word or not. Can it be that she really told me the right answer? He clenches his eyes closed and then says, "Persistence." The teacher was overjoyed, saying correct. She lived, duped, and started dancing for some reason. Tahano himself thinks she didn't trick me. As he was sitting back down, he blushingly thanked her. She had a smug look on her face while having the blush of a goddess. Seeing this, he was flustered. He thinks, why does she look like she's enjoying all of this? Of course she is. He thinks, I'll only believe her this time. She did help me after all. The main character asked her, "Say, if you have such bad eyesight, why didn't you ask to change seats with someone?" Well, the reason for that was because I like it here. He couldn't understand. Bing bong, as he sees that he can't still figure out or read her at all. A few hours ago, when the chatter was going on about who is sitting there, she was sitting on the last row. She and her brunette friend say, "Will you be all right that far in the back?" She says, "No, it's fine," as she looked towards there, and it was the main character sitting there. As she looked towards his face, she made up her mind to sit there and smiled with a blush. "It should be fine if I wear my glasses." "Okay, then it's good." And that is how lingered there. Sitting beside him, she tied up her hair herself and asked him how she looked. "This one, how about this one? 2 or 3 more, and at last this one, the classic kindergarten style." He thinks, why do you always got to ask me for feedback? I mean, you look fine, I guess. Every time Hojo opens her pencil case, she gets this oddly happy look on her face. That's something I only noticed after sitting right next to her. Hiding a photo of my brother or something. Just what in the hell is in there? She grins as the main character try to peek inside her pencil case. It's Lazy Dog. She's literally getting excited just looking at the inside of her case. What's even fashion anyway? As he was walking, he realized something. The brunette friend of Izumi, she is not chasing after his brother. This was noticed by his friend, as his friend goes near her, saying, "Hey, Morikawa, aren't you going after Rei-sama?" She says, "I'm good. Why are you not interested?" Well, her reason was simple. Because Urara loves herself more than anyone, but she thinks he's cool as well. Hearing this, the boys were dazzled out. Somehow it is oddly calm, though. Izumi also loves this thing about Urara. She just thinks to herself, did I say something weird? We see Urara totally excited. "Hey, since we're already on the bus, why don't we play cards?" It looks like they were on the bus, as the main character says, "Oh, Morikawa brought a real nice seat." Izumi and Morikawa ask the main character if he is playing. "You should be playing, right?" But he rejected it, saying, while shuffling through his book. "Don't just count me in without asking about it," he yelled. It was the month of May today. A day trip for outdoor learning was going on. They are out to embrace nature and to strengthen class bonding. They look out of the window, thinking, "Wow, look at that, it's so pretty." The main character thinks, "I ended up in this group because Takayama called us out. He said, 'Hey, it's fine if we all aren't the same group, right?'" "Yeah, sure." But the main character does feel kind of uneasy because Takayama is the only person here with moral compass, and the others are Izumi, Urara, and his third friend. On top of that, he is in the same group as Hojo. But he guesses that's better than being stuffed with some other girls who are just after his brother and freaking out, saying, "Did he come for real?" The main character thinks, snap out of it, as his friend calls him, saying, "Hey, Utah, you paying attention?" Of course, they were playing some kind of cards, as his friend says, "We are designing team roles with this. Whoever wins picks whether they cook or gather firewood." The only thing is, he heard from a senpai that firewood duty is kind of brutal. The main character, who is on fire, thinks to himself, "I really need to be on their team," as he was burning from inside. He can't really afford to lose. As they reached their destination, everyone gathered up in the camp and started making preparations. The main character, it looks like they are gathering firewood. He asked Izumi, "Why the heck are you on firewood duty too, Hojo?" She explained, "Because you came in dead last to Hano. You were second to last." He yelled at her, "These were the bottom two crew. If you hadn't sabotaged me for it, it would not have to be like that." While there are 3 people on the cooking team, the 2 idiots of a friend and the brunette, Urara. Well, hauling firewood on the steep slope is no joke. Yeah, this is pretty rough. Is Hojo even hanging in there? She was wobbling right and left. Even firewood was falling from her shoulders. As she put it all on the ground, she thinks, "All done," while he thinks, "You're just acting like the job is all over." "Whatever, we are not even halfway done." Wait. Seeing how much she was tired, there is something else about her. While another girl says, "Are you all right?" "Hey, Tahano," and the others. The main character says, "Yeah, got it." She says, "If anything comes up, don't hesitate to say something, okay?" The other people who heard this of her were melted, saying, "Thank you. Everyone is so kind. No wonder she's one of our class top 2 stars. She's so adorable. Sorry for the wait," Izumi says, scaring the main character half to death. The main character says, "Don't just pop out of nowhere." She just says, "I caught up, that's all." Looking at her, he thinks, "Man, she really is bad at physical stuff." So he agreed to carry her wood as well. As he put his hand forward, she grabbed his hand, and the main character says, "That's not what I mean. If we don't hurry, the curry will be all gone." As he carried all her stuff, she quite had the blushing smile on her face, saying, "Thanks, saying you are a nice guy, Tahano." "Yeah," he says, been looking towards a curry that they were going to eat. It was nothing but some kind of curry blocks and apple and diabolical stuff. "What is this?" The cooking team says, "This is what's supposed to be a curry, you could say." Looking towards the ingredients that they put in the curry, the secret ingredients, they were quite shocked. But even though the main character and herself try to taste it, a sip by sip, it was so awful that others have to help them get some water and all. Well, it looks like it's time for the main character to make a curry too. Girls were looking toward him, saying, "Is Tahano actually good at cooking?" "Yeah, I heard he's a good cook and cooks a lot." This was none other than Izumi and the main character's friend. He says sometimes he even makes bento, and they are so good. "Bento? That sounds nice." Everyone gathered around to help him. As they were all finished with the curry and stuff, they said, "Thank you for your food," and dug right in. Everyone who was crying there, bawling their eyes out, "It's so good. You are our rescue mission, really saved it." Yeah, it's positively delicious. The secret ingredients work out great as well. The main character thinks, "I tweaked the amount a little bit myself. Glad it ended up tasting all right, even though this is far from my best." Izumi, as well, takes a bite. The main character looked towards Hojo, thinking, she hasn't said anything. Maybe she didn't just like it. He was quite nervous, asking, "Was it good?" As she moved towards him, blushing, she says, "It's delicious." Finally, someone who appreciated his work. But he says, "You got rice on your face." She wiped it out. He thinks while eating, why am I getting happy about this kind of thing? Is it because she's complimenting my cooking? It's not like it. Well, she got even more rice stuck on her face. I don't even need her opinion in the first place or anything. Okay, everyone, the teacher says, we are about to start a recreational event hosted by Mr. Kobayashi, presenting the treasure hunt camp in the mountain edition. Treasure hunt. Everyone was kind of excited as well as terrified, and thus begins a grand adventure for treasure.